E-hailing services in Lagos has taken center stage recently. There was the issue of regulation, unionization of drivers, to even that of price control and drivers having a say in their own business. We will focus on how the Professional E-hailing Drivers and Private Owners Association of Nigeria, PETPR, has taken destiny in their own hands with an innovation called MyCab. Well, thanks for joining us on the Inside Business on Galaxy Television. I am Justin Akadonye. Welcome back. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday presented the 2021 appropriation bill of 13.09 trillion naira to the joint session of the National Assembly. The budget estimate was approved last Wednesday by the Federal Executive Council, FEC, in line with the news thrust of the National Assembly to ensure a predictable January to December budget timeline. The appropriation bill is likely to be passed in the early week of December for prompt transmission to the President for assent before the end of the year. Let's take a look at other stories that made headlines on business news this week.
President Muhammadu Buhari has called for more synergy to consolidate on the gains recorded, particularly the ongoing effort to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. In his remarks at a joint executive legislative leadership retreat held at the State House Conference Center, Abuja, Monday, President Buhari said the collaboration enjoyed from the leadership of the National Assembly had made it easier for the government to set and realize development goals and respond to changes in the economy faster, like the coronavirus pandemic, that necessitated review of the 2020 budget. According to the President, some of the gains recorded from working together also include accelerated passage of the 2020 budget and its review in response to the coronavirus pandemic, timely confirmation of nominees, and passage of critical legislations by the National Assembly. He said the retreat provided another opportunity to interface, reflect, brainstorm, and engage as one government.
The accelerated passage of the 2020 budget and its review in response to the coronavirus pandemic, the timely confirmation of my nominees, and passage of critical legislations by the National Assembly are all testaments to your willingness and commitment to play your part towards delivering effective services to Nigerians. There is a compelling need to sustain and strengthen on this partnership by creating platforms for regular dialogue, consultations, and interactions between the executive and the legislature to share ideas and build consensus on critical governance and policy issues. This approach will enhance coordination within government and strengthen our capacity to effectively address the challenges of governance, service delivery, and development. Recently, I inaugurated the National Steering Committee, co-chaired by the Honorable Minister for Finance, Budget and National Planning, and Mr. Peter Said Atedo, with representation from the National Assembly to oversee the development of the Nigerian Agenda 2050 and medium-term National Development Plan to succeed Vision 2020 and the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017 to 2020.
President Buhari said he had already inaugurated a National Steering Committee co-chaired by the Honorable Minister for Finance, Budget and National Planning and Mr. Peter Said Atedo, with representation from the National Assembly to oversee the development of the Nigeria Agenda 2050 and Medium-Term National Development Plan MTNDP to succeed Vision 2020 and the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan ERGP 2017 to 2020 adding that the National Steering Committee will facilitate the linkage between policy plans and budget in a manner that will help lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty within the next 10 years.
This will be the second time in a short time that we'll be discussing the relationship between the legislature and the executive here. The other time was the ministerial retreat, and we had the opportunity to make our contribution on this topic. Today, the whole 2 days, 48 hours, are devoted to discussing the relationship between the executive and the legislature. This is a sign that this administration, particularly the relationship between the executive and the legislature, is of utmost concern to us in government. And that is what it should be. Mr. President, this National Assembly decided quite early to work together with the executive very harmoniously for the benefit of Nigerians.
For putting together this long overdue engagement between perhaps the most two critical arms of government that need to work together in a symbiotic way to achieve and deliver, quote unquote, the dividends of democracy to the people we represent. So I thank you immensely for this giant effort. And I thank the President for, in his unbelievably busy schedule, to find time this early Monday morning to be here in attendance. I commend Mr. President, the Vice President as well. We were here just a few weeks ago and went through the same process, an all-day sitting. And I think it's a testament to your commitment to nation building. It is my hope and my belief that in the next 48 hours, 2 days that is, that we will engage in very robust, very frank discussions.
The president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE, Babagana Mohammed, has challenged engineers to resolve the intractable traffic gridlock at Apapa to ensure speedy industrialization of the country. Mohammed, who made the remarks during the inauguration of Christian Ufot as the 9th chairman of the Apapa branch of NSE in Lagos, said that engineers are known to be solution providers worldwide and Nigeria should not be different. He added that Nigeria had no business with poverty, only if its engineers could explore the business and development aspects of their professions, which should solve problems to ensure their well-being. In his remarks, the guest speaker, Didi Olufolabi, while delivering his lecture, called on the federal government to declare a state of emergency in the nation's industrial sector and evolve investment-friendly policies. Folabi, speaking on the theme, Industrialization of Nigeria, Now or Now, identified massive youth unemployment among both the skilled, unskilled, as well as educated and illiterate, and the need to take drastic measures for an industrial revolution of sort. He called for industrial-friendly laws devoid of corruption to attract investment to Nigeria, as well as harnessing opportunities of research and development in the nation. He called on all tiers of government to address the problem of power and infrastructure, as well as work towards intermodal transport to ease economic activities while listing various other solutions.
Apapa is synonymous with gridlock key. Apapa is synonymous, we know the port is there, but you are synonymous with gridlock. Put your heads together, write something. Give your position to government. That's the best way to go about doing things. You must write something on paper If you cannot go in, please send it to us.
Looking all over the world, everybody continues to keep the fund in, allowing it to go out. You would have maximized the value, the benefits that can accrue. But we don't do that. We keep on spending. Look at how much we spent importing crude oil. Processed crude, petroleum products in the past 30 years. It is crazy. And they're that everywhere. Now we are battling with scarce forests. Forests will be scarce because all we do is import. So we must produce what we are consuming and produce enough to export the rest. That's the whole idea.
Industrialization is what we certainly need in our nation now. We have raw materials, but we are not making use of the raw materials industrially. We are not setting up industries. So with this lecture that has been given today, many are gingered to set up industries. Industries right from those areas that you consider as local to those urban areas.
Industrialization is not something that one can just talk like that. It requires a political will. If we don't have a political will, there's nothing you can do. So it depends on the people at the helm of affairs. Once there's a political will, the technocrats, if they have been brought in to really brainstorm and take Nigeria to where it's supposed to be, will be there. By and large, it's a political thing. If engineers, that's why we're encouraging our engineers to go into politics, so that we'll be there. But in terms of infrastructural development, I think Nigerian engineers are doing better. They're not doing badly at all. And there's always room for improvement. Nigerian engineers all over the world can rank within any other engineer in the world.
Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has pledged his administration's commitment to harness all its resources in providing affordable housing for its citizens. The governor made the pledge at an event held to mark the day in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, with the theme, Housing for All, a Better Urban Future. Declaring the day open, the governor, Dapo Abiodun, says reducing the high housing deficit is one of the pillars of developmental agenda of its administration. He adds that his administration is partnering with the federal government on the social housing scheme to provide 10,000 social housing units for the overall development of the state.
In line with our determination to fulfill our electoral promises to our good people of Ogun State and to align with the Agenda 2030 of the United Nations, we have commenced affordable mass housing provision at different parts of our dear state. We plan to build 2,500 affordable housing units by year 2023. We are also partnering with the federal government on the social housing scheme, which is part of President Buhari's economic sustainability plan to mitigate the effects of COVID-19. And that plan is to provide 10,000 social housing units in Ogun State. $10,000, just in case you missed that. And by the way, Ogun State has been chosen as one of the first beneficiaries of the housing scheme. These two housing schemes will be and are indeed direct labor-driven.
Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, Olatunji Odunlami, in his welcome address disclosed that the celebration would afford stakeholders dialogue on urban and rural development in order to provide affordable housing for the people. On his part, the Commissioner for Housing, Akadonye, says the state government, in order to bridge the gap of 500,000 housing deficit in the country, has started the construction of 2,500 housing units in 9 locations of the state.
Although the focus is generally on the urban center, it goes without saying that the dialogues are essentially about issues relating to its planning, housing, road infrastructure, transportation, health, education, power supply, water and sanitation, and governance, among others.
We in Ogun State is joining forces to respond to the current crisis, share solutions, and create cities of the future for everyone. and the time to act is now. Under the headship of Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration, construction works are currently ongoing to provide affordable housing solutions in about 9 different locations in the state.
In front of this administration to focus of encouraging private investment in critical sector of the economy to drive jobs creation and prosperity. The Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria region wish to appeal to His Excellency to free up some of the acquired lands in some of the houses like Mogwe of Fada Papalato, done by previous administrations around Mogwe Papalato houses for real estate development. Influx of development and developers, which will later translate into increase in tax incomes and IGR for the government.
It is hoped that with this level of commitment from critical stakeholders, the gap in adequate shelter will be addressed promptly.
Welcome back. The Lagos State government says it will continue to support all genuine local players in the transportation sector in its commitment to improve travel experiences. I caught up with the Special Advisor on Transportation, Oluwatoyin Fayinke, and other key speakers at the unveiling of MyCab in Lagos. Take a look.
The reason why I'm here is based on invitation by MyCab Technology Service Limited. Technology being the tool of our transportation business is important. We know the opportunity the app company is offering our drivers. As a driver representative, it is my call to service to check or evaluate the quality of an application and how such application can support our transportation business. Based on our analysis, we see MyCab as an homegrown application that is here to help us move our transportation service to the next level. You will agree with me that the issue of drivers' agitation is not only in Nigeria, it's all over the world. Because all these technology companies coming in as a partner with the community of e-hailing driver partner. Their partnership is shambolic. It is a gimmick to convert our service into their own. We are the transporter. We are the one commuting passenger from point A to point B. And if you wanted to sell our service on our behalf, you need to carry us along. We are not privy to the sales of our service. And MyCab is doing something different. For the first time in the history of e-hailing, MyCab is partnering with an association body, which has never happened before. Because we've been agitating that we need a voice. We need driver to be properly identified with app companies. Absolutely. Presently, before even the launch of MyCab have agreed to implement those things that we've been complaining bitterly on most of the existing application in terms of fare review. The fare review on MyCab is collectively evaluated by thousands of e-hailing driver partners. When we talk about drivers, pure profiling, to know those who are running this transportation service, MyCab is one of the app companies that is ensuring that. When we talk about rider profiling, MyCab is ensuring us to know who our client is, unlike some other application where all manners of people can request your ride with a fake identity. At the end of the day,
they hide under this disguise to perpetrate evil. On this note, my cab is giving us an opportunity to have a real passenger, not passenger as a criminal. Yes, one of the things that make us to be fully in support of my cab is that my cab is listening to government's regulative guidelines. Government are the machinery through which the will of the state is expressed, formulated, and attained. And if government says e-hailing business is not yet profiled into transportation sector, and they need e-hailing to be profiled as a transportation unit in Lagos State, and my cab has taken initiative to comply with Lagos State regulative guidelines, which most of the thing the Lagos State is asking for, that they want to profile those who are running transportation service under app companies, which is a welcome development. And part of the achievement on the side of profiling is Lagos State is making it important for all app companies that wanted to run a business in Lagos State to insure all their trips, meaning that if anything happens along the line while you are on a trip, both rider and drivers' lives are secured. In case of accident or any other eventuality, you understand, you can't just be on your own. The insurance is covering your trips, and we can see that most of app companies are taking an initiative to implement all those things in their policy.
let's hope that the future of transportation and indeed e-hailing business in Lagos and beyond would be second to none. That's the size of the show for this week. I am Justin Akadonye. See you again next time.